Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 6th of May 2022 for the Wrestling Wrap-Up. It's a handful of news brought to you in one easy to watch video. We got a number of things to talk about on today's show. We've got 7 different stories we're going to bring to you from one WWE superstar, a former tag team champion, no longer under contract with WWE. Big E gave a not so great update on his neck injury. Bryan Danielson not allowed to do a specific indie, and so much more. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool options, cool free things like free games, free stuff for games, and it always gives you one free subscription for tonight. Or, sorry, I read something in the chat that said tonight. It always gives you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe, and I greatly appreciate it if you subscribed right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But remember, it doesn't just have to be your Amazon Prime account. They don't know who's the owner of the account when you're linking it to the Twitch and whatnot. They don't know if it's the same person because usernames and this and that. So it can be anybody's Amazon Prime account, whether that's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, anybody. But with that, on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out over there as well with a super chat or a super sticker donation. Remember, all super chats do get read live on the air. Also, remember, you can hit that join button down below to become a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. Plus, you could do all that, but have it in a more direct, I guess you could say, area where it's easier to find everything and support us more directly, heading over to patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And finally, buy something on the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something, whether it's a new game like Sifu, an old game like Grand Theft Auto Online, or you're claiming them free games. Use the code PW Unlimited to check out on the left side, right side of the screen. I always mix that up. On the right side of the screen, it's going to ask you, you have a creator code, and you do. It's PW Unlimited. So with that, we've got a number of stories to talk about. So let's do this one more time. Let's pop that on, pop that right back off. All right. We got a number of stories to talk about. I actually am limited on time because I got to pick up the kids from school in an hour. Got a late start today because I had some family things I had to take care of this morning. So let's jump right in. Talk about our first news story of the day as it pertains to Candice LeRae. According to a new report from Fightful, they report that Candice LeRae no longer under contract with WWE as her deal has expired, as Fightful writes the following. WWE has less royal families, as the couple of Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are both free agents. Fightful reported earlier this year that LeRae's WWE deal was up in the spring, and there was no indication of an extension at that point. This morning, LeRae was added to the alumni section of WWE.com, and Fightful was able to speak with WWE sources that confirm she's a free agent. As of a few weeks ago, Fightful had heard that there weren't talks of an extension, but haven't heard how that landed since then. They state that they were told by one WWE source that if they had their way, the decision would have been to freeze the contract during maternity leave. And that would be, quote, in her court. But they weren't given any indication that was the case. There are no 90-day no-competes because, well, the contract expired. Yes, because her contract expired, she can literally be on AEW Dynamite next week. She could show up at GCW this weekend. She could be anywhere. She can be and do anything, just like Johnny. But regardless of all of that, it will be interesting to see what does come of Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. I've seen a plethora of tweets this morning. Johnny's the Joker. Make Candice the female Joker. Put them both in the Owen tournament. One in the men's, one in the women's. That'd be great. I've seen a lot of people tweeting that this morning, but we don't know exactly what Candice and Johnny are going to do next. Here's the thing. Johnny hasn't wrestled since his contract expired last December. That means Johnny hasn't been actually getting a paycheck. He did WrestleCon and all that stuff, so we got paid for his appearance there. But Johnny hasn't been getting a paycheck other than, I guess, the WrestleCon and maybe some other things he did that we don't know about. Candice, though, while Johnny has been a, quote, free agent, was still getting paid by WWE. Now, I know this is a not nice thing to say, but neither of them getting a paycheck now. One of them needs to get a job. One of them needs... I know Johnny's probably making decent money on his Twitch, which I haven't seen him stream from in a little bit. But regardless, now neither has a steady paycheck coming in. Neither is getting that I'm signed money coming in. So, yeah, one of them got to go start working. Whether that's a bunch of indie dates, whether that's signing back with WWE, whether that's signing with AEW, Impact, or so forth. One of them got to get out there. They got a baby. They may have a good stockpile money saved, but eventually a stockpile and a savings is going to run out. So, I highly doubt either, if not both of them, don't want to wrestle anymore. You know they both love professional wrestling. So it's a matter of, what do they want to do? When do they want to get back at it is the big question. So we will continue to follow the story. It's a very interesting one because now both of them are free. Which now, if Johnny would have said, gone to AEW, he could have got a good deal from Tony Khan and this and that. But now, if Johnny and Candice say, go to Tony Khan and go, we want to be a package deal. You want us? It's a package deal. We're together. Da-da-da-da-da. That's going to be a little more enticing, but a little more expensive. So we'll see how all does play out. They see where this does go. I have already seen a few indie female wrestlers going, oh, Candice is free. I got dates that I don't have opponents for yet. So we'll see where all this does land. We'll see where Johnny goes. We'll see where Candice goes. We'll see what the power couple does, because they are a power couple. I really do feel they are a power couple because together or separate, they're phenomenal professional wrestlers who can garner a lot of interest from the fans, especially if they go to AEW, because that AEW fan base loved Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae on the indies before they went to WWE. Then they became freaking megastars almost in NXT. So now you've got that fan base that would go, you got the indie fan base that goes, Johnny and Candice, they're not in WWE anymore. Oh, heck yeah. Then you got the NXT fans that go, Johnny and Candice, I love them. They're what? They're where? I'll watch them there. So, it's a win-win, I think, depending on where they do go. I mean, ultimately, they could just say, hey, Johnny Ace, we're ready to resign. But we don't know what's exactly going to happen. So, we'll follow the story and see exactly what comes of both Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae going forward. Speaking of WWE and people that we haven't seen on television in a little bit, well, that's Big E. Big E has actually been out of action with a broken neck. He suffered it earlier this year, and he gave I guess you can say, not so great update this morning on Twitter, as I'm going to pull this up on the screen. That's the wrong screen. As Big E tweeted the following. For those, I'm going to butcher this word, desirous of an update, my C1 apparently isn't healing optimally. I'll spend another 4 to 6 weeks in a brace in hopes that I can avoid a fusion. But don't you fret. I've got a tremendous support system, and what shall be, shall be. So unfortunately, it looks like recovery for Big E off the broken neck is not going 100% according to plan, not going exactly how he and his doctors thought it would be, and hopefully he does not have to have the surgery. He was told originally, don't need the surgery, but now, from what he's saying in this new tweet, it looks like, the next 4 to 6 weeks are going to be very pivotal on if he does or does not need the surgery, if that C1 in his neck does or does not actually heal properly. So it is unfortunate to hear that Big E is not healing, I guess you could say, according to what doctors originally thought he would be healing as, or the rate he would be healing as. So we will follow this story. And hopefully, the big man, Etor, Ewan, Big E, can be back in the ring, or at least back on track sooner rather than later. As we move forward here, we got more WWE stories to talk about. This one has to do with WrestleMania Backlash and unifying the tag team championships, as according to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter. Well, oh my jeez. Looks like that was never the plan as far as merging, unifying the tag team championships. Meltzer wrote the following in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter. The little bit we know is that the 6-man tag team match was always the planned match. There was never a plan to actually unify them. There was never a plan to actually do the unification match. So, while most feel this was the usual weekly plans changed, it was not. That also explains why last week nobody would confirm Roman versus McIntyre to me, only that Reigns would be in the main event. So, unfortunately, them doing the whole 3 weeks of, go to Raw and take those titles. We're on Raw, we're going to take your titles, and we're going to unify them, we're going to do this and that, and never the plan. Never the plan. It was all to get to this 6-man. Got the bloodline and Roman, the Usos and whatnot, but you had to find a way to tie in RK Bro and tie in Drew McIntyre, which it's very weird that they didn't just make this a full SmackDown storyline. I get it. You're going to say, well, what tag team could they have used on SmackDown? I mean, they could have done something with the New Day and McIntyre. Not like we haven't seen them team at house shows before. They could have had it to where the New Day were going to get a tag team title shot, and then maybe the Usos, or here's my pitch for this. How you could have kept this all in-house at SmackDown. So the Usos and the New Day were going to do tag team title shot, Backlash. Then someone gets antsy and goes, screw waiting to Backlash. Let's do the match tonight on SmackDown. The match ends up happening, but not really happening because Roman comes down to cause interference. Then that leads to Drew, who has maybe been buddy recently with the New Day, making the save. Roman then says, hey, stay out of this. This isn't concerning you. This isn't your business, blah, 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 blah. Heyman then goes down and Pierce to get the match made. There we go. We kept it all on SmackDown. Then you could have had the damn Raw tag team titles on the line at the pay-per-view. You could have had at least one set of tag titles on the line. Now you got nothing. There's literally a WrestleMania Backlash, one title match. One. And let me see. Maybe I missed something. And something got announced this morning that I didn't know of, but I would have heard of it. And still only 6 matches with only the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. That is it. A full-ass pay-per-view and only one title match. This company has the Unified Universal Championship, Intercontinental, United States, 2 sets of tag teams, a 24/7 title, the Women's Tag Team Championships. That's all for the main roster. You got 7 titles. 7! And only one's on the line. Only one. Very, very, very unfortunate. But it looks like unifying the titles was never the plan. It was always to figure out how to get to the 6-man tag. They did it. And now here we go. So, hey, WrestleMania Backlash could be a sleeper. It's got a lot of matches that could be really good. But at the same time, to me, it's kind of like, we'll watch it, we'll review it, we'll see how it actually is. As we move on forward, we all know what happened April 29th. We had another round of WWE cuts. With those rounds, one Malcolm Bivens was cut from the company, and he has finally spoken on some of this at a comedy stand-up show he did, I want to say last night. I don't know exactly. Let's see. Yes, last night, Thursday night. Bivens was on stage and stated the following. All right, so here's the truth. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation. Was I offered a contract in February? Yes. Did I say no to said contract? Yes. Was I offered to be with Omos? No. No one said a word to me about managing Omos. Was I told about the main roster? Yes. And people think I'm crazy. Like, quote, Malcolm, you threw away millions. Potentially, you walked away. Yeah, I did. Because I didn't want to do it anymore. And unfortunately, I just wasn't happy. At Stand and Deliver, I had a conversation with the head writer, and I told him so. And then 2 weeks ago, I said the same thing. Quote, I don't think this was for me. And that's okay. Because your happiness is not dictated by what people say you should do. Happiness is dictated by what you think you should do. Because there's a difference, right? He would then go on to make some jokes about NXT UK, saying that he talked to Julius and Brutus Creed, and one of them was like, yeah, a lot of people found this shocking. You're the talk of the Performance Center. And even people in UK were shocked to hear this. And then he's like, yeah, well, you want to never get cut by WWE? Go to NXT UK. They'll just forget about you, and you'll never get cut from the company. You can go shoot up a Popeyes. You can go this, and then he talks about all these different crimes. You can, all this stuff, and you never get cut from NXT UK. It's funny. He's got the video on his Twitter from last night where he does this whole bit. It's very, very funny. I recommend you guys go watch it and take a look at it. It's Malcolm Bivens on Twitter. But now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, well, what about the report that he was going to offer to manage Omos? Well, is that wrong? Not quite. Maybe the idea was floated around in a creative meeting that someone may have gone, well, we need a manager for Omos. Malcolm Bivens. Maybe the idea was floated and he just was never told because someone went, nah, never mind. You know what I'm saying? But I did see when he posted this and he goes, was I told about the Omos thing? No. I ever told I was going to manage Omos? Potentially. And I saw people go, oh, well, Fightful's wrong. Fightful. No, not necessarily. Fightful said it was something that was pitched. Never said pitched directly to Bivens. Just something that was pitched. So it could have been something that was brought up in a creative meeting, but never actually brought to him because it never got past that creative meeting. Could have been like, who are names we could put with Omos? Malcolm Bivens, LA Knight, MVP. Greenlight, MVP. Let's do it, pal. So that's all it could have been. No one's wrong. No one's right. He didn't hear anything, and no one ever came directly to him. But as we move forward, we want to talk about the sponsor of this video. Pull this up right here. It is 630 Bicycles. Every kid loves riding a bike, and that love grew into a lifelong passion at 630. In the early 2000s, we were swept up in the Southern California beach culture and found the cruiser bicycle an integral part of that lifestyle. Oh, trust me, I know. My parents are from LA. They were all about that when they were growing up as kids in the 80s. I've seen the pictures. I've seen videos. Oh, trust me, I know what all this is all about. But nothing in the world seemed to matter when we were on our bicycles, cruising along the beach, enjoying the sand and the sun. Trust me. Riding along like Venice Beach, down there, or going to Long Beach and whatnot, riding your bikes over there by the pier and whatnot. I've done it. Very fun, very relaxing, very soothing. Well, they said they never smiled more, laughed more, enjoyed more. And they wanted to bring an innovative and refreshed look for bike designs from bike designs in the past. And so 630 Bicycle Company was born. 630 Bicycle Company is at the forefront of producing stylish and highly functional cruiser bicycles that are comfortable, durable, and reliable, all within a reasonable price range. Whether it's standard or electric bikes, they're confident. At 630, they have a bike that fits your perfect fit. Looking for a standard or electric bike? Then look no further than 630 as they make special bikes for all ages. Use our link in the chat or the description below to support us right here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Tell 630 you found them from us. Head over to pwunlimited.co/630. pwunlimited.co/SIXTHREEZERO. So with that, one quick second, I got to Another story I was going to talk about that's not loading for some reason. Let me see if I can find the original link here. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. Fonzie, you're a mind reader. Exactly my next story. Yesterday, WWE had their 2022 quarter one, I guess you could say, financial call. They had some interesting things in the financial call, and I'm not a big numbers guy myself, but I do know that, and I have the link right here. I have the article pulled up. Josh Nason over at F4W Online did do a great write-up that I'm going to read from right here. Again, that is, I'm giving credit to Josh Nason over at F4W Online as he wrote the following regarding yesterday's WWE investors call. In what has become old hat, WWE announced yet another record-breaking quarter on Thursday, hitting a record $333.4 million in revenue in the first 3 months of 2022, a year-over-year increase of 27%. They also announced an operating income increase of $92.4 million for the quarter, an increase in 42%. WWE stock was down over 3% for the day at 59.49 at the market close. However, all U.S. markets were down for the day yesterday, so maybe nothing to look at there. One of the key things they discussed. The major driver for the increase was the media rights, which increased by 36. It says the major driver for the increase was their media rights, which increased 36 million year over year, thanks to the February Saudi Arabia Elimination Chamber show. The live events were up 23.1 million from just 500,000 a year ago, while consumer products increased 11 million. The WWE 2K game was part of the consumer products increase, 20 million versus 11 million year over year. Of course, they didn't have a big game last year, in addition to 4.5 million of live event merchandise sales, offsetting a 2.3 million dip in commerce revenue. I'm going to go back here really quick. They talked about, well, actually, hold on. I'll talk about video game stuff here in a moment, because they did talk about new video game stuff, which I thought was very interesting. Well, a new game they've got in the development. But let's read this really fast. Right here, it says revenue increase drivers. Among the highlights, they mentioned their supporting press release was their multi-year extension of content with A&E, which will see 130 plus new hours of WWE themed series and specials. They've got, I think, 35 episodes of biography. They've got 24 episodes of Most Wanted, and they're bringing Rivals to A&E, with, I want to say they said maybe 20-something episodes of Rivals as well. I just hope it's not rehashed episodes from the network. They've already got WWE Rivals on the network, so I hope they don't just take those episodes and go here, and we'll create some new ones with that as well. I hope it's all new, fresh content there. They stated that their MENA region broadcast deal with MBC, MBC Group, their long-term e-commerce and licensing merchandise deal with Fanatics, and the release of WWE 2K22, the video game, was a Metacritic and successful. They said it was a critical and financial success with them talking about WWE 2K22. They also noted how they're still doing record numbers with their two big mobile apps, Supercard and Champions, and more info to come soon. They do have a WWE mobile role-playing game coming soon as well that Stephanie McMahon mentioned, but did not give any actual context about. She did not actually state what this mobile role-playing game is going to be, but a WWE mobile role-playing game is coming soon, or at least Stephanie said that we will have more information about this game in the near future. So I thought that's interesting. Role-playing games are always fun. I wonder how you do a WWE role-playing game. Is it like and it's on mobile too, so that's another interesting thing. Talked about WrestleMania. While the event didn't happen until the second quarter, WWE did highlight WrestleMania, as they usually do, claiming 156,352 combined fans for both nights at AT&T Stadium. It was both their highest grossing and most attended event in history. Well, no shit when you match both nights together. They also said domestic unique viewership was up 61% year over year, with global unique viewership up 54%, making it the most watched premium live event in company history. Again, it's a 2-night event, no duh. Of note, viewership in India hit a record 56.1 million views, a 29% year over year increase. As far as attendance does go, WWE held 53 total live events in Q1. All of one were held in the U.S. That one was Saudi Arabia. And the average in attendance of 5,700, which was down from 6,300 in Q1 2019. We got to go all the way back to Q1 2019 to do comparisons because 2020, 2021, Q1, they weren't running live events. Here are some other notable things from the investors' call. Vince McMahon was on the call very briefly to kick it off, going through some of the major successes, including, quote, a stupendous WrestleMania. Nick Khan touted how well WWE is doing on Peacock, despite the streaming industry audience now shrinking and stabilizing in terms of growth. They are confident the company viewership will continue to grow, and that 1/3 of Peacock accounts watched some programming of WWE during WrestleMania weekend. Then Nick Khan, this isn't in Josh Nation's notes here, but Nick Khan then went on for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Well, Netflix, they could be getting into the live viewing audience stuff soon. Netflix maybe da-da-da-da-da. So we'll see what Netflix wants to do. Like, there's nothing Netflix is doing to get into the live. Like, there might be something. But he just kept touting other streaming services that has nothing to do with WWE. He's like, well, Netflix, they could always jump into live stuff. And if they want to talk with us, we have a relationship with certain things we've done with Netflix before and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and Amazon got the exclusive rights to Thursday Night Football on with the NFL. And they just hosted a live event with the American Country Music Awards. And they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing this. And if they want to get into more live sports, we'll listen to them. Oh, and HBO Max is doing live things possibly soon with this and that. And we got this streaming service that wants to do this. And maybe we could talk to them about that and this and that. And da-da-da. And it's like, dude, bro, talk about your stuff. I don't need to hear, Amazon is paying for this and Apple's looking to get into this and this and that. Are you talking to any of them? No. So shut the hell up. It got annoying when he's like sitting here reading off a paper. Amazon, they're really looking to bolster their live events or stuff and live content viewing where they got the exclusive rights to Thursday Night Football. They upped it by a year. This wasn't supposed to happen until 2024, but they're doing it now this year, and they just hosted the Country Music Awards for the ACMs. And he said Disney Plus is even getting into the live viewing stuff as they're bringing their highly touted Dancing with the Stars live show over to Disney Plus this fall. Like, maybe we can get in with them as well. He's like, Hulu this and ESPN Plus that. I'm like, God damn, guys, shut up. We just need to hear what you guys are doing. He also said more news will be coming soon on the next Saudi show. We know what that is. It's late November or late October, early November. Khan said he talked about the 20+ new episodes for WWE Rivals coming to A&E, the whole 130-hour plus programming deal there. Khan said that when WWE enters the next rounds of TV right negotiations, there will be more potential buyers than less time. He says it looks like there'll be more people that could bid on WWE and their live programming rights fees. And that's when you start talking about the whole stuff with Netflix maybe investing in live programming soon. And Apple, Amazon are pushing in that area. Maybe they can. Basically, it's just saying with more people looking to get live viewing content, that's more people that could be interested in WWE. And if there's more people interested in WWE, then that means that Fox and NBC would have to pay more to keep them. Nick Khan. Actually, hold on. Where was it? Yeah, Nick Khan said that he was asked about the bundling of Raw and SmackDown together in one deal to a network. Khan said that, quote, can be a powerful tool and that they will talk with both NBCU and Fox before deciding how they want to proceed going forward, which I believe they will have to talk with both of them and say, what do you guys want to offer us? What do you guys want to do? Do you want this? Do you want that? And then if they go, okay, now we're in a period where we can talk to other people. Listen here, boom, 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 come back and say this is what we got. So Steve McMahon said that sponsorship accounted for more than $10 million last quarter, a 50% increase year over year, as WrestleMania now had two sponsors, 2K and Snickers. She also mentioned the gaming strategy for the future, something that comes up on the calls before, but they never really say much about. She cited a survey where 80% of WWE fans identified themselves as gamers. And I'm like, okay, but does that mean that 80% of your fan base is going to buy your game? Yes, no, maybe so. She did talk about the new role-playing game and still kept touting. She did this in the last call too. Kept touting how WWE wants to get into the metaverse. WWE CFO Frank Rickard also said that there's no decision as of yet when it comes to the expansion of the WWE Performance Center globally, as far as wanting to open more PCs around the world. Those were some of the, I guess you could say, big ticket items that were talked about in yesterday's WWE investors call. Hot Rub Bubba says, bring back the WWE Network 2023. They can't. I'm pretty sure the Peacock deal is till 2024. WWE Peacock deal. That deal is till... Peacock deal is till, because I know it was a 5-year deal. I believe it started last year, so that would be why is this not saying? So if it was a 5-year deal last year, 2024, end of 24, I believe, is when that deal with Peacock is up. And Peacock's got the right to go, yeah, we want to keep doing this. If they want to pay WWE $1 billion, that's more than WWE is going to make running their own network, so it's actually a really good deal for WWE. Not so good for Peacock and NBCU, but it's good for WWE because they're making at least double probably what they would have made keeping their WWE network compared to what they're making from Peacock. They're at least doubling, if not more. We do got to talk about a little AEW news here. Final 2 news stories of the day do have to do with All Elite Wrestling. As well, Forbidden Door tickets went on sale, and they're gone. They are basically gone. So this Thursday, the pre-sale went on sale for AEW Cross New Japan Pro Wrestling Presents Forbidden Door. That saw more than 11,000 tickets sold in under 40 minutes. Which means that, well, there's going to be over 14,000 fans in attendance. The final number will depend on how many tickets they hold back for production. They were setting it up again for 14,000 tickets. And if they sold 11,000 of those just in pre-sale, well, they sold the rest already. Says the remaining 3,000 tickets for June's Forbidden Door event sold out in minutes on Friday. So they did a day before pre-sale, and then Friday, boom, everything else went on sale. 3,000 more tickets. Sold out. Now, they could open up more seats. We don't know, A, how many seats they saved for, family and friends and media personnel and this and that. And they maybe don't have the stage fully figured out yet where they can maybe make the stage smaller than they expected to open up more seating. So that's another thing. But they have sold over 14,000 tickets for Forbidden Door. It is considered a sold out show. We'll see exactly what that really means. This is now the second time that AEW has, quote-unquote, sold out the United Center. When they set it up for Rampage for CM Punk's, I guess you could say, debut, they sold 12,000 tickets for that show. So that was a cool little thing that I wanted to bring up. It says attendance, according to this report from F4W Online, it says attendance for the show could end. Attendance for the show. Oh, no. Attendance for okay. So they sold more than 12,000 tickets for the Rampage show with Punk, and they ended up having a total of 15,316 people in the venue. So, really cool that this show sold out so quickly. I know a lot of people online are like, well, they're dumb. We knew they should have gone with the bigger venue. Maybe they should have gone with the stadium. Maybe they should have gone with the baseball field. You never know. You never know. So, it is cool to see that the show did garner that much interest, that much, I guess you could say, fan interest that they wanted to be there, and they wanted to make sure they got their tickets right away, and the show is sold out. They may, again, open up more tickets, but we don't know when or how many that could be. And the final news story we have for you today is Tony Khan not allowing Bryan Danielson to do indie dates, or at least one specific indie show in basically his hometown up there near Seattle, Washington. Last week, Defy Wrestling hosted the first ever live wrestling show on Pluto TV. The main event saw Filthy Tom Lawler taking on Jon Moxley, with Jon Moxley coming out victorious in a tremendous bloodbath of a match. This match was so fun to watch. This is a great main event. And after the match, Moxley spoke a little. He said, Lawler, he's now a friend of the BCC. Defy, they're a friend of All Elite Wrestling. I want to come back here to Defy. You guys like tag team wrestling? Well, I need to get a little loud. Maybe if you guys can get loud enough, you can help me find wherever Bryan Danielson, whatever mountain he's hiding in, and get him to come here with me. Well, according to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, looks like AEW may not want Danielson, at least not yet, to work Defy or anything else in the Seattle area, as Meltzer wrote the following. As a personality, he's major league. Moxley said that Lawler was a friend of the Blackpool Combat Club and that he considers Defy a friend of AEW. Then he asked the crowd if they like tag team wrestling. He said if you scream loud enough, the next time he comes, he may bring Bryan Danielson. The noise was deafening from that. Like, it was loud. And people that were there said that that's the loudest they've ever heard a Defy crowd. And Defy crowds are always loud and rowdy. Well, Meltzer stated, the basic situation is that Danielson has expressed interest in working for Defy. However, Defy has been told that AEW wants Danielson's first Seattle match to be when they debut in the market. Another however, there's no date for that. That's why I was surprised they didn't run Seattle in June, because they rarely come to the West Coast. So with that, Defy is under the impression from AEW that no, they can't book Bryan Danielson because he hasn't worked Seattle for them yet. When are they going to go to Seattle? Who the hell knows? They got technically 3 West Coast dates, if you count Vegas as West Coast. That's it. 2 in California, down in SoCal, and the 1 in Vegas. Well, actually, no. I take that back. There's 3, so it's 5. 3 Vegas shows, 2 California shows. And so it's like, okay, you're going to tell this guy that really wants to go work Defy in Seattle, you can't. Well, you know the first argument he can use if he wants to argue it, well, why is Mox working Defy? Why can Mox work it and not me? I'm the hometown boy. I'm from Aberdeen, Washington, right outside of Seattle, you know? So it's very weird that Tony Khan basically informed Defy that they can't have Bryan Danielson until after they debut in Seattle. My whole feeling is it's probably the assumption of, well, if people can go watch Danielson for Defy on cheap tickets, why would they, come to AEW? They would either go to him in Defy or wait and see if he comes to Defy and not go to the AEW show. But AEW's I think they're going to draw there regardless. I think this is kind of stupid on AEW's part to do. Because it's like, oh, Danielson's your only draw? Danielson's your only draw in the Northwest? Danielson's your only draw in Seattle? No. You've got Sting. You've got Punk. You've got Moxley. You got Jericho. You got a lot of guys, Darby, Sammy, Andrade. You got a lot of guys that people want to come see. Not just one guy. Yes, he's the hometown boy, technically. But he's not going to be the reason you do or don't sell out the crowd, the venue. He's not the reason you do or don't draw a decent house. He's not the reason you do or don't have an actual good television crowd. No. I mean, shit, you got Punk. They'll come just to see Punk. So telling Defy, you can't have Danielson until we go to Seattle. When we're going to Seattle, who the hell knows? Telling Defy that is kind of dumb. Just, in my opinion, a little dumb. So we'll see how that all does play out. But as of right now, Defy is under the impression that they can't have Bryan Danielson until after AEW makes their Seattle debut. And if we look at Defy Wrestling and their schedule, I think they have a show in June, I want to say. Their next show is June 5th. Sunday, June 5th. Also, they have not announced if that show will be live on Pluto or not. The last show was said to be a success. And here's the thing. So let me look at something really fast. So if we look at how much AEW sells their tickets for, AEW tickets sell starting at $30. Cheapest ticket for this week's AEW, and that's New York. They can mark up the prices. Let's go somewhere else. Let's look somewhere else. Let's go Houston, Texas. That's a neutral area where they sell tickets for. Let's see. They got a Rampage in Houston. Tickets are, well, that's actually even more expensive. What the heck? That's interesting. $50. So we'll say $30 for a ticket to go to AEW. Defy's next show, $5. Tickets starting at $5. So it's like, okay, do we announce Danielson and then everyone goes to season for $5 and says, screw, we don't want to go to AEW, even though there's only, and here's the other thing. Defy's only gotten no more than 200 people in their shows, if that. If that. I don't even think that venue holds more than 150, 200 people. So it's like if AEW's worried that everybody that would want to come to their show is just going to go see Danielson and Defy, no, it's going to be a very small sliver. Hell, let them go to Defy. And then let everyone go, man, I couldn't get a Defy ticket. Man, I couldn't get a oh, they're coming with AEW. I'm going to go see Danielson in AEW. And then they'll spend the money because they couldn't see him with Defy. He does something cool with Defy, and then they go see him with AEW. That's the better play, in my opinion. Because they're worried of, oh, well, they can go see him in Defy for $5. Why would they want to see him for us for 30 to 50? You know, but again, it's only if they're selling out, 10,000 seat arenas for, or say they go to a 6,000, like this week's show, they ran in Baltimore where AEW or ROH used to run. So it was a 5 to 5,500 seat building. So you take that and you want to sell that. Say you get a building that size. You want to sell that out in the Seattle area. You go, well, if everyone goes to Defy, they're not going to want to come here. You're still going to basically sell it out. So I think this is stupid, in my opinion. Maybe we'll get more context on this. Maybe Meltzer was wrong. Maybe Meltzer just doesn't have the full context. But as far as what Meltzer was told, Meltzer did state, quote, if I had been told that AEW wants Danielson's first Seattle match to be when they debut in the market, yet they've got no date for that. So, again, we'll see what this all means, but it kind of sounds stupid to me. So with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Tonight is Friday Night Smackdown, and we do know of 3 things taking place on that show. We've got a face-to-face with the men in the Backlash main event. It's the Bloodline, and it's Drew McIntyre and RK Bro going face-to-face. We've also got 2 matches on the show tonight. It's Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks, and we have a tag team tables match as the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods take on Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Those are the only things that have so far been announced for tonight's SmackDown. But with that, guys, that's going to do it. That's going to wrap up the wrap-up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. We will be back live tonight on all the same channels talking Friday Night Smackdown. Also remember that in the next 30 minutes is AEW Rampage, because AEW Rampage is airing very early today due to NHL hockey playoffs. Let me double check that hasn't changed. Let's go to the TNT schedule. TNT. Rampage starts. Yep. It says The Accountant, which it's The Accountant again. The Accountant is over in 37 minutes, and then Rampage is on. We got Rampage in the next 37 minutes. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your day. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Remember, Sunday's Mother's Day. Send your mother something nice. Give her some lovin's on Mother's Day this Sunday. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you next time.